Well, hi there, I'm his Big Bear Ron, and I want to talk with you about this topic, born again, and really I'm putting it out there, fishing for comments and whatever. And if you've watched my videos, then you've heard me tell you that I was raised in the church, and I was very, I've the first 30 years of my life, I've had a steady diet of plenty of Christian teaching, and I grew up during the years of the Jimmy Swaggarts, the Oral Roberts, the Jim Bakkers, the Pat Robertsons, the Billy Grahams, on and on and on. So, I'm familiar with the Christian teaching, and having spent a couple of years at Lee University and a few at Central Bible College, I'm familiar with various brands of theology on this. So I'm not approaching this as if I don't know anything. I'm really trying to solicit thought, kind of the on the top of your head, the armchair kind of thinking about this. We've heard the expression born again, and I think most of us are familiar that it comes from John, the Gospel of John, chapter 3. And we have some other allusions to it in the Epistle of John, being born of the Spirit, born of God. And I even think the prophet Jeremiah, in his writings, kind of alludes a little bit to this idea of being born of the Spirit sort of thing. And personally, I kind of think what it's sort of saying to us is that, look, you can't help your biological birth. You're born as a result of accidents, if you will. Or you might say coincidences. Yes, there's the biology, but the mutations and the selection and all that stuff. What conceived you, how you were conceived, your biology. You can't do anything about that. You're born as you are. And but to be born again, I kind of think that tends to tell us, look, this life has to be taken seriously and should be taken serious enough that we see our thoughts and our actions as having consequences that will continue on even after we're no longer here to really influence things. Now, we might influence it by our the memories of us and our legacies and that sort of thing, but essentially I think it's sort of telling us, look, you have to take charge of your own life. You have to embrace yourself, accept yourself, and you have to come to realize, that this life is meant to be lived. This is not a test. This is not training. This is real life, and you have to figure things out, and success or fail. You don't get a practice life. What you have here is what you have, and I think the New Testament's teaching, I think it comes through that we are to seek after, to pursue happiness, and to desire it, not at the expense of others. We want to pursue happiness for ourselves in a way that secondarily others can benefit too. Yet at the same time, each person, you can't blame others for your faults and your failures. You have to sort of kick yourself in the rear and get on with your own life. Work out your own salvation, I think is another way of looking. When I hear other people talk about being born again, it comes across to me that what they are saying is that they have initiated themselves into this club, into this collective thing, into this scheme where they sacrifice themselves, they sacrifice their intelligence, they sacrifice their abilities and their talents and what have you. On what? I mean, they sell themselves out. No longer do they really seriously think about things. At the same time, they're wanting to embrace themselves, to save themselves. I don't know. It seems to me that what is often presented to us as this born-again concept is kind of an impossible situation. It's kind of a situation that I think tends to lead to confusion. And I'll leave it at that for now. I'd like to know what your, and I've rambled, I know I've rambled, and maybe I've not made any sense, but, and I'm not really wanting to read anyone's theology. I'm not really wanting to read Bible text. None of that. I just kind of want to talk it out. Let's use today's language and let's use common vernacular and talk this thing out. What does it really mean? Did Jesus really, if Jesus even said those things, mean for us to buy into a church dogma? Or maybe did he, maybe was the thought there that we grab a hold of ourselves and get off our butts and, realize that we have a mind that belongs in all this thing that we call the universe, and we've got to, it welcomes our investigation and our exploration, but as the philosophers have said, in order to be commanded, it has to be obeyed. So we have to learn how to work within this context, and that it's a realization that that's the only way that we're ever going to bloom to our ultimate fulfillment and become 100% human. What do you think? Talk to you later.